Hope you had a great time checking in with one another. We're ready to start this morning's talk. And I just wanted to do a plug one more time for that 10th anniversary autumn celebration we're talking about, where we're celebrating 10 years here at TLMC. Just know that all ticket purchases are going to support the center. And so in addition to doing a great thing and helping us support our mission to reach out, kind of be a beacon of clarity in a world that's sometimes a little bit crazy, know that you're also going to have a wonderful time. So please, while you're thinking of it, just jump over to zlmc.org and get your tickets. We're looking forward to seeing you all there. So this morning's speaker doesn't really require an introduction. She's our co-founder, Sensei Ryushin Tanoue. This morning she's going to talk to us a little bit about coming to our senses. So Sensei, I'll turn it over to you.
Okay, thank you. And Lindy's going to handle the microphone, right? Okay. I like to handle the controls here and figure out. I wonder why that is. Okay. On the fabric, it moves around. Okay. This microphone is so sensitive, I know. Well, good morning, everybody. It's really nice to see you once again, and people here and there and everywhere. So, the title of my talk today is Coming to Our Senses. And it's also Native American Heritage Month. So I want to acknowledge the original peoples who inhabited this land, the Potawatomi, the Sac, and the Fox nations. I don't know if it was ceded or unceded lands, but they were the caretakers of this beautiful land that our center sits on. So my hula student, Sarah, asked me a few months ago if I had the book Coming to Our Senses by Jon Kabat-Zinn. And you know, I had seen it, but I didn't remember where it was. And when I was down in the basement, I've moved all my sewing things down in the basement now, so I can just, you know, instead of being upstairs on the dining room table and having to move it, I'm now in the basement. And when I was down there, I saw the book because we have the great library there. So I looked at it and I thought, ooh, I should read this book. It was written in 2005 by Jon Kabat-Zinn, who's considered really the father of secular mindfulness in the United States. He is actually a Zen practitioner in the Korean tradition. So it's really infused with a strong Buddhist foundation. Actually, something that Roshi started when he created the primer series, which has now become our Foundations of Mindfulness classes, which I think a lot of you here have taken already. And we have Chris here, who's a teacher, and a number of teachers coming up, like Kelly, and I see Shu Ping was here as well. So I thought, well, I think Sarah's going to have to get her own book because I have to read it. She wanted to borrow it, but I'm going to read it. So, and Chris asked, what's the title of your talk today, right? So I said, Coming to Our Senses. And this past week, there are so many signs all pointing to, yes, we have to come to our senses now. And that's what we're doing when we're practicing mindfulness meditation, actually. coming to our senses. So yes, there's the body senses, right? We can see, hear, taste, touch and feel being the same things. But then also knowing the deep predicament that we are heading towards. So I'm going to start with this koan taken from Florence Kaplow's and Susan Moon's wonderful book, The Hidden Lamp, 2,500 years of women's wisdom. Chen's Mountain Flowers, China, 7th to 9th century.
Well, the subtext here is so obvious.
All right, Chen was a laywoman who traveled far and wide, visiting famous Zen masters. After she realized enlightenment, she composed the following verse. Up on the high slopes, I see only old woodcutters. Everyone has the spirit of the knife and the axe. How can they see the mountain flowers reflected in the water? Glorious red. Do you have to cough, Hannah? Are you okay? Are you all right? Okay. So I happened to see this email come, and it was from Upaya. Florence Kaplow, who spoke a couple of weeks ago here about the Hidden Lamp, has been holding a monthly study group through Upaya on the Hidden Lamp. And this week, or last week, it was on Chen's Mountain Flowers from the book. So I got the book and I read it, and then I read the commentary by Joanna Macy, who is a revered elder in the Buddhist movement. So she wrote a wonderful commentary on this koan. But Florence, how she approached it was really exciting to me, and something that I want to actually continue in a study circle or a writing circle in the new year. She uses Lectio Divina in trying to really get into the koan in an embodied way, versus just intellectually, which is really how we do koan study here. We're trying to get out of our conceptual mind into our bodies, because there is a huge, vast wisdom there, mostly untapped, that has the answers, if we can see them. So what she did was she had us read each line with an inhale and an exhale, really taking our time with it, not looking at the commentary. And then at the end of it, we sat for a little while, kind of meditated for about 5 minutes. And then the line that jumped out for you, to use that as a writing prompt for 12 minutes. So we wrote on that and then shared at the end of that time. And that was really wonderful, actually. What came up for you? So the Lectio Divina tradition is from the Benedictines long ago. And what they do is they approach sacred texts this way, where you read the text, you meditate, you pray, you contemplate. So very much like koan study. Let me read that again. Chen was a laywoman who traveled far and wide, visiting famous masters. After she realized enlightenment, she composed the following verse. Up on the high slopes, I see only old woodcutters. Everyone has the spirit of the knife and the axe. How can they see the mountain flowers reflected in the water? Glorious red. And also last week, there was a kind of like a study group. There's a group called The Work That Reconnects that's actually based on Joanna Macy's work. And Kathleen Rood and another woman, Jo Delamore, they sent out a film for people to watch ahead of this group, which I did not watch, unfortunately. And I read the email. This is what happens when you don't read emails. It said, view this film and then come to this 90-minute discussion. So I came to the 90-minute discussion thinking that they would be showing the film, but they didn't. And I was like, oh no, but I saw Mary Susan Chen there. And so she said, hi, on text. And then I left the group to watch the film. And so I texted her, I said, I'm just watching the film right now. She goes, no, come back, because they're having a kind of cool discussion about the film. They're kind of connecting. There were 38 people there. They were connecting with each other about this film. And this film is called Once You Know. So I think we need to get this film so we can watch it and have a discussion here. And it was directed by Emmanuel Kaplan. And I saw just like the first couple of minutes of it. And in it they say, we are in a period of uncontrolled decline. We are in a period of uncontrolled decline. We're on the path of collapse of the global industrial society in the first half of the 21st century. That means we have 29 more years to go before 2050. That sounded very sobering to me. We have to come to our senses. The UN already, right? Back in July, I heard the UN said, right, that global warming is no longer reversible. Like, okay. So these are the symptoms of the collapse. Growth will disappear. The horn of plenty will run dry. There won't be enough room for everyone. There's now 7.8 billion people on the planet. It's a huge amount of people. We are setting climate collapse in motion. There's even a new word, collapsology. Collapsology. This is a transdisciplinary study of the risks of collapse of industrial civilization. And it's induced by climate change, scarcity of resources, vast extinctions, and natural disasters. So in the work that reconnects, the thing, what Joanna Macy is saying, it's important to reconnect. Reconnect to what? To ourselves, to each other, to our environment. And reading this book, Coming to Our Senses, there's a poem that John Kabat-Zinn has in there by Wendell Berry. It may be when we no longer know what to do, we have come to our real work. And that when we no longer know which way to go, we have begun our real journey. So 2005, this is the challenge of coming to our senses, right? Intellectually, but mostly coming and embodying our body individually, the whole, the whole. We cannot ignore our interconnectedness. If the earth dies, we are definitely dying. So we also, it's been a rich time. The last 5 weeks, we've had a wonderful class with Shinko Roshi out of Colorado. And Shinko is doing a very brave thing. She is bringing Vajrayana practice into Zen. Vajrayana is the Tibetan Buddhist practice of, they are very esoteric, they very much do visualizations of the deities and becoming one with the deities, which is important, and healing different. What we've been doing is actually visualizing the energy or the light of the goddesses, the different goddesses, into different organs. And you go, well, I mean, visualization, healing, is possible. Well, she said one thing that struck me is that we're doing visualizations all the time in our conceptual minds. We are visualizing all the time. So why not visualize healing and light into our very organs? Why not? So that has been a very rich and new area for me. Roshi, who has practiced Vajrayana with Trungpa Rinpoche and with Gyaltso Rinpoche, he's more used to this visualization, visualizing colors coming down through the crown chakra into different organs. And he was actually practicing the other day, and I noticed when he came upstairs, he looked good. He looked good. So how do we get in touch with this body, which we mostly are not in touch with? Or, you know, we might even loathe. Or we could go on the totally other end, totally obsessed with, right? I'm getting the best vitamins. I'm taking them every day. I'm exercising, right? You could go the totally other way too. So, right, we've got these 5 senses. The 6th sense, according to John Kabat-Zinn, is proprioception, which I've been talking about a little bit, but now that I'm getting it more integrated, proprioception is the sense of having a body, of being in your body. It is a vital 6th sense. And so, how do we get in the body if we're not? The body scan is a great way to start the neural pathways going from our brain, which we, our brain that we inhabit, I don't know, what, 90% of the time? That's a lot. Let's inhabit the rest too. So when you do the body scan, it's kind of like you're getting in touch. You're coming into your senses, all the different senses. I was doing a practice earlier, maybe it was last year or the year before last, of somatic meditation, where you kind of visualize different parts of the body, bring your breath to it, and try to relax it. That's really helpful for going to bed. You know, you can't be tense all the time. It's just not good for you. We were not meant to be that way. So that's what Jon Kabat-Zinn did. Practice this body scan with for 45 minutes. His patients or his people who were involved in a study with him to see if mindfulness meditation would help their physical chronic pain. They did body scans for 45 minutes. They got really intimate with their bodies and the sensations that your body had. You became more familiar with it, and they wouldn't upset you so much when they appeared. And it made a tremendous difference in healing or in pain management, probably in healing too. So this particular kind of this kind of awareness, paying attention on purpose, right? He says this is the final common pathway of what makes us human, right? Our capacity for awareness and for self-knowing. Right, I remember that saying on the temple at the Oracle of Delphi, know thyself. So not just up here, know thyself, wholeness, coming to our senses. I like how he says, Jon Kabat-Zinn says, meditation is simply paying attention in your life as if it really mattered. That's a big one right there. As if it really mattered. And our culture is just rife with messages saying that you don't matter, that you're not good enough. So we have to wake up to what is real, what is reality. Another beautiful quote by Jon Kabat-Zinn. For me, mindfulness practice is really a love affair with what is most fundamental in life, a love affair with what we might call truth, which for me includes beauty, the unknown, and the possible, how things actually are all embedded here in this very moment, for it is all already here and at the same time everywhere, because here can be anywhere at all. Saying mindfulness is always now. So yes, it's an act of love that we're all practicing, and we need love. In my hula practice, we talk about aloha. Our lives are aloha. Our lives are love. And we dance love. And one thing, you know, there's a misconception about meditation, that meditation is equal to relaxation. Yes, it could be a byproduct of relaxation, but it is, you know, if you're not relaxed, it's okay, right? Meditation is embracing, mindfulness meditation is embracing what is up for you right now. And seeing if you are on a ruminating wheel so you can change that. Right. So mindfulness meditation is a radical act of love, to sit down and be quiet for a time by yourself. It's a radical act of love. And it's a way to stay sane in this increasingly insane world. So, he also talks about emptiness, which is a teaching that I've always found difficult to articulate, really, because, you know, how do you talk about something that is so vast? He says, the Buddha once famously said that all of his teachings could be condensed into one sentence. Nothing is to be clung to as I, me, or mine. Nothing is to be clung to as I, me, or mine. That's a big one right there, because everything is I, me, mine, right? The Beatles even have a song about it. I, my, me, mine, right? It's so ingrained, right? So this is our habit of concretizing this personal pronoun into an absolute and unexamined self, and then living inside this story of me for a lifetime without examining its accuracy or completeness. Boy, that is something to remember and practice. Let me repeat that again. We have a habit of concretizing this personal pronoun, I, me, mine, for a lifetime without examining its accuracy or completeness. And then just remembering the Buddha's statement, nothing is to be clung to as I, me, or mine. And how much do we cling to I? I can speak for me. I cling a lot. And I am grateful for this practice, to be able to pause and to say, okay, what am I clinging to right now? What is this sense of me that feels threatened? What is it? All right, so yeah, think about this. Like, what are signs in you of concretization of yourself? What are signs of you that makes you think, oh, right, I'm clinging to I, me, or mine? Anybody have a one, two? think I want to answer that question. Okay, yeah. All right. You can take off your mask when you speak. Marcus. Oh, wait, hold on a minute. I have to do this too. Yeah, this is a multimedia thing here. There we go. There's Marcus. Okay.
Hi, everyone. I was thinking with mind part, just material possessions, maybe clinging to them.
Cling to material possessions.
And like if something were to happen to them and they're gone, then you feel emptiness with that. But what am I trying to say? Maybe you shouldn't cling so much because they can be taken away.
And you'd be real upset if you were really attached to your material possessions. Okay, good. What about yourself? When you feel yourself kind of getting fearful, angry, what are you clinging to? You can just unmute yourself and speak if you want to, or anybody else here, right? Just think about that, right? Usually, yes, Gwen.
Well, just in a few words, what comes to my mind is maybe the past.
The what?
Your past, your
The
memories,
past.
your experiences in the past that you're holding on to that are
Something in the
overdone,
past that
but
you're
are very
holding
present
on
in your
to.
life today, as far as controlling your feelings or moods or anything like that.
What was that?
That may control your moods.
Who controls your mood?
Just your thoughts, holding on to your past. You said that what happened, me, I, this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's where you're going, but I'm still listening to
Well,
get an idea.
well, for example, you know, for example, me getting just really nervous about this talk, right? What am I nervous about? Oh, because I feel like I want to look like smart and I want to look like wise, and I don't know that I'm going to do that, right? So I'm attached to this idea of myself as being or wanting to appear as. I'm afraid that I may not be. So that's why I'm afraid. So that's kind of interesting, looking at it that way, right? Yeah. Concretizing the self that I've built up over all these years. You know, I'm 71. I've had a lot of time to build up myself as a certain way of that I want to be seen. But why? Why do I have to even, you know, want to be seen that way unless I'm concretizing this idea of myself? Yes, Jeremy.
Yeah, it's interesting for me because I spend a lot of time by myself, and when I'm by myself, I feel like I'm this very open, like you know, I'm not holding on to anything. But it's interesting when I'm then in contact with other people, coworkers, family, things like that. I notice, oh wait, I have a lot of parts of who I am and the way I want to do things, and identity comes out. So it's in those interactions with other people where that kind of comes up for me.
Right, right. You want to appear as a kind and generous person, right? To your family,
Sure.
right? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to worry about that. You are already. So there's this, so emptiness. Yeah, I got to talk about emptiness a little bit here. So emptiness means empty of inherent self-existence. In other words, that nothing, no person, no business, no nation, no atom exists in and of itself as an enduring entity, isolated, absolute, independent of everything else. Nothing. Everything emerges out of the complex play of particular causes and conditions that are themselves always changing. So there is no enduring entity, including in ourself. There is no enduring self, independent of everything else. We are all interconnected. That's what emptiness, one definition, Jon Kabat-Zinn's definition. If we realize the emptiness of things, then we will simultaneously realize their gravity, their fullness, their interconnectedness. And that may chase us to act with greater purpose and greater integrity, and perhaps as well with greater wisdom in our private lives and in helping the world. So I was also just happening to listen to Eckhart Tolle, who's really quite amazing, right? And he's, we're always working with duality in Zen. You're you and I'm me, and we're, that's how we see everything as separate, but we're trying to see everything also as one, both of them the same, both. So he's saying, whenever we label something, there is already right there a sense of separation. So actually, when we're labeling thoughts, we're actually separate from the thoughts as well, but it gives us a sense of space versus being totally in the thought. Then you can see, wow, I'm really getting hot under the collar right now. Maybe I need to just breathe for a little while so I can calm down and think a little clearer, okay? So when we label, like for example, we're in a forest and we're like, oh, I know the name of this tree and that tree and that tree. You're creating actually like a screen between you and that tree, because you're all in your head. It's all conceptual versus being. And so there's two ways of being. That's the relative world. Then the other world, the absolute, includes all of that and no separation at the same time. So this practice of not knowing is very powerful here. And I'm reminded that this past week was the 3rd anniversary of Roshi Bernie Glassman's passing. And I think he and his wife Jishu, who is also on our founder's altar, did so much in bringing up the 3 tenets of a Zen peacemaker of practicing not knowing, bearing witness, and loving action or healing action that arises. And yesterday was the end of the Auschwitz Bearing Witness Retreat also, the 25th year of that event. So conceptual reality is this involuntary, continuous labeling of everything as negative or positive. And if you can practice not knowing, which is being truly open without preconceptions, you can sense something that the conceptual mind can never sense. That there is an energy in nature a sacredness there, which we dance and celebrate in hula. Everything is intensely alive. And then there's this sense of merging, a oneness, which I think sometimes can be overwhelming, I only practiced it once, and it was like a lot for me, but it was a beautiful thing. I've been starting to walk in the neighborhood regularly for my health. And I thought, you know, the Buddha thought at one point, one of his previous lives, he was a tree. So I thought I would, at each tree that I passed, I would be fully present and thank the tree. Thank the tree. And after about the fourth tree, I was totally moved and started weeping. So compassion arises when labeling stops. Kalu Rinpoche said, "You live in illusions and the appearance of things. There is a reality. You are that reality. When you recognize this, you will realize that you are nothing. And being nothing, you are everything." Albert Einstein said, "The true value of a human being is determined primarily by the measure and the sense in which he has attained liberation from the self."
We have a volume issue. Just one moment.
We have audio?
We're back.
Thank you. So did you hear that Albert Einstein quote? Okay, good. So, one thing that it might take is to expand out beyond living so much in our heads. Oh, sorry. Right, this is a very sensitive microphone. Yeah. It gets all blurry if it gets close. All right, so anyway, so one thing that that might help is to start to be embodied and not to live so much in our heads. Because that is definitely how we solidify the self, through our thoughts, for sure. And we are much larger than what we think, much larger, we think. So this final poem by David White. Enough. These few words are enough. If not these words, this breath. If not this breath, this sitting here, this opening to the life we have refused again and again until now. Until now. So, any questions about my talk? I'll stop there, and then after some questions, we are actually, I see a few of my hula students here, and maybe there's one online, it's possible. We are going to dance for you. But anyway, are there any questions before I talk a little bit about the dance? Coming to our senses. Marcus.
I'm trying to grasp the concept of emptiness. Like, I guess it means just feeling one with everything, the nature and universe, and not thinking of yourself as one entity, but entity among everything, I guess.
Yeah, and that we're all interconnected, right? We're all interconnected. When we get really solidified in the self, I, me, mine, right? That's all we see. And we can't see that we're interconnected with everybody. But through the process of mindfulness meditation, it's really helpful. Meditation, the way you practice it, where we're not meditating actually to become enlightened, because we already are enlightened. And the process of meditation helps us to uncover this deeper sense of who we really are. That is not just about me or, and my stuff. It's about everybody,
Everyone.
interconnected, flowing together, as well as interconnected with this planet and the universe. I think it kind of helps you get out of the suffering that can come from this solidifying of a self that it has no, isn't true, as Roshi says. Oh, I forgot to put this. It's a thing. I have to be the grip here. Okay. I know, one of these days. Okay. All right. Let's see, any thoughts, or what do you think about this? Coming to our senses. Help.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, thank you. First of all, thank you so much. I feel like everything that you shared, it's kind of overwhelming. You shared so much. There was so much to that. But I think I am really struck by the Eckhart Tolle that you were referencing. And the work that I do is a lot about anti-racist work. And I think I had never considered that, when we label others, if we, label people in racist ways, that in some ways it is so harmful to us, because as you're trying to get to, you have to, that starts with you separating yourself. And so I think so often we talk about it as harmful to others, but I think like the first harm when you act in a racist way, or you label someone in a racist way, the first harm done is to yourself. And June, your whole talk was just incredibly profound, but I feel like that's something that I really want to continue to think about. So thank you.
Thank you. What's your name?
Maureen.
Maureen, are you from Chicago?
Yes, yes.
Oh, great, great. Okay, fabulous, Maureen. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Jeremy.
Just a little reflection for me on that original koan that you read in the beginning. I couldn't help but to think about. I have this memory. I was maybe about 25 years old, and I was looking out. Me and some friends were looking out at the ocean, and they were just feeling as if they could just connect to the scene and just appreciating it. And I had this sort of thing like that doesn't mean anything to me unless I go out and I swim in it and I have to like in some way sort of conquer it or something. And I'm noticing as I'm meditating more, it's less about me sort of exerting myself on the world, so to speak, and more appreciating just everything as it is, you know, being able to appreciate just that, looking out the window and seeing the tree. Or I've been doing some of these Zentangle drawings that we learned a couple weeks ago, and this idea of not knowing, and never, my identity would say I was never someone who could do something creative, but now just to say like, I'm just drawing a line and then connecting with another line and seeing the way that unfolds. I feel like this is bringing out something, this idea of actually not knowing is allowing me to be something that I never thought I could, you know? So it's, so yeah, I feel like that's been sort of the process for me.
Thank you, Jeremy. And thanks for reminding me about the koan, right? So let me just read this koan again real quick. Chen was a laywoman who traveled far and wide, visiting famous masters. After she realized enlightenment, she composed the following verse. Up on the high slopes, I see only old woodcutters. Everyone has the spirit of the knife and the axe. How can they see the mountain flowers reflected in the water? Glorious red. Right. You're so busy doing whatever you're doing. How can you see around you the gorgeous beauty in everyday life, that sacredness that surrounds us? So with that, I think we're going to do a little dance here now, all right? And this beautiful dance was, oh no, that's all right. This beautiful dance was requested. My hula student is 90 years old, Sissy Plekovic, and she requested this dance for her 90th birthday party, which is on, thank you, the 13th, right. And it's about Haena, Ikaehukai. Haena is on the island of Kauai. If you've been there, you know how beautiful it is. Haena means red hot, about lava in the ehukai, in the sea spray. So right there, you're seeing some opposite, you know, in the title. But it is a love song to the island of Kauai. It was written and choreographed by Akumu Hula on, I believe, the weekend of his ceremony to become a kumuhula there, and was inspired by the beauty of the surroundings. So I will kind of translate maybe as we dance along, but that's what it is. It's about the beauty of the place and the maile, which is a beautiful fragrant green leaf that also means long life. And the mokihana, which is a green berry that is kind of smells cinnamony. You can only find it on Kauai. And let's see here, I'm gonna get this here. Okay, so I wanna make sure we get this on tape. So let's see. So can we get our dancers together? Oh, I'm gonna ask everybody to also turn off your video, because I think Sarah might be the only one here, but she will come on as dance. So if you turn off your video, that would be great. And then I'm going to hide non-video participants. Okay, so it'll be Sarah and I. And oh, and we have Hana here, which by the way, it's Hana's birthday today, and we're going to be dancing. And, ooh, I need a microphone over here. Microphone over here for the music. Okay. Ha'ena ikae hukai. Oops. Whoop.
Where's the music from?
From here, this computer. Yeah. Okay, are we ready? No? Okay, where is the music? Okay, here we go. This love song to Kauai. Hula. Aya. There in the beauty of Limahuli, I beheld Makana. Hyena in the sea spray. Murmuring ocean of Ke'e. Aya there in the beauty of Limahuli, my eyes beheld Makana, Himakana, Hyena, Hyena in the sea spray. Ike aku, I beheld Hanale in the pouring rain, saddened until the joyful waters came. Oh, the joyful waters there. Hemana'o, I'm thinking, my heart loves the mokihana. Entwined with the maile lauli'i. My heart, my cherished lay. Himele, this is my song of Kauai. Oh, Kauai, in the calm, beautiful. Oh, Hyena in the sea spray. Hemele, this is my song of Kauai. Beautiful in the calm. Haina, this is my story of Hyena in the sea spray. So thank you so much. And that's what we do here a lot. We dance, which is a great way to heal suffering. Talk about coming to our senses. Thank you, Chris. And now we have a surprise for our birthday boy. It's Hannah's birthday today, and we have to get, okay, I think we should sing happy birthday. I'm also getting a cake. So I know Earl is here to lead us in happy birthday. Yeah. Here's the cake. Take it, pop it open. Here's the candles were here. What happened to the candles? I had them on the here. They were over here. What happened to them?
Michael might make coffee and use them.
Maybe they're upstairs?
No, candles, where are they? Oh, God, that was good. Kelly, you're amazing. It was right here on the counter. Oh, there they are. And now okay, let's put a candle on it, and, oh, we need a lighter. Lighter. That's so good. Lighter, 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 lighter.
If we weren't.
Michael, are you getting a lighter?
Yeah, there's one right on the altar here.
Yeah, get the lighter. Where's the light? All right. All right, here we come. Okay. Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Kana, come up here. Happy birthday, Hannah. Happy birthday to you. All right. All right, so we'll cut it. Okay, well, there we go. Happy birthday, Hannah. You want to say anything?
Thank you so much. You all have been some wonderful friends to me. I'll never forget the generosity you have displayed here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Hannah. All right, well, what a great day. Thank you so much for being here today. All right, wish you could have some cake. I think it's like cookies, explosion cake, something like that. I know he would like that. All right. All right, so we've got cake for, yeah.
Bye.
Bye. Aloha. Aloha.
Thank you. You look really